So I decided to do a, I guess you could say Plexus testimonial video. It's the first video of its kind that I've ever done in my life. But let me share with you what the reason that I decided to do that. About a year ago, exactly a year ago now, I had to get a cardiac catheter ablation done on my heart, obviously. And of course, it was very stressful. About 3 to 6 months prior to that, I had experienced an SVT attack, a supraventricular tachycardia on my heart. And so I was pretty stressed out about the whole thing. And so my husband saw that I was very stressed out. I was very worried. And so he actually told me about these videos that are on YouTube, testimonial videos. I had no idea that those existed. So we together started watching some of those videos, and it helped me so much. These people shared their personal story, how it happened and so forth, and then they got the procedure, the before, the during, the after, and it made me feel so much better about having that procedure done myself. And then now I felt really bad because they did that and I wanted to do a video, but I never had the courage. I couldn't get myself to do the video. And then now I'm getting ready to have a hysterectomy. And again, very, very stressful and worrisome. So I turned back to YouTube, to those videos, and it's brought me tremendous amount of courage again. It's informed me and it's helped me so much. These women that put their personal life for us to learn from, for me to get courage and for me to have the strength to do that. So they share that, and so that really, again, I hope to have the courage to do a video for a hysterectomy, kind of before, during, and after, for other women that are coming after me to have that procedure done. So now going through this with Plexus, it's really inspired me because I've had such a positive, my husband and myself both have had such a positive experience with these products, and they've changed our lives. And so I wanted to share that. I feel like I wanted to pay it forward. I feel like I owe that to other people, just like I've gained so much from these videos. And I've watched so many Plexus testimonial videos also. So I'm so grateful for those stories and words of encouragement and do's and don'ts and so forth that really helped me so much. So I said, you know what, I really need to do a video myself to help other people in my shoes. Everybody has their own story, and maybe somebody will relate to mine, I'm not sure, but I really wanted to share that with you. So today, my husband and I are on day 50. Today's our 50th day on these Plexus products. We started taking these products on February 5th of this year. And the reason that we were even open to getting involved with these products is, again, my health, the ablation. I had issues with my heart. The issues leading up to the hysterectomy, which ended up in severe anemia and so forth. A lot of stuff happened with that. And I was diagnosed borderline diabetic. Last year I was diagnosed borderline diabetic. And I remember the day that the doctor told me, I remember that when the doctor, because this was now my second time that they tested my blood. And so the doctor had told me, you need to do better things, with yourself. And so she straight out told me that day, are you ready to be a diabetic? And I started bawling. I was crying and crying. And I remember my husband was with me. I walked out and we got in the car and I was crying. I was very emotional. The reason that I was very emotional is because both my grandparents were diabetics. My grandparents had 8 children, and 4 of those, as far as we know so far, I'm not sure if there's more at this point, but 4 of the 8 have diabetes. And my father had just been diagnosed diabetic, just been. And so, I'm 45. My father at the time, I think he was 68 or 69 years old when he was diagnosed diabetic. And he's a very healthy person, very healthy. Of course, his diet, wasn't the healthiest, but he was diagnosed diabetic. So it was very near and dear to my heart. And so I took it really hard. And so I started to research. I started to ask people, what can I do? How can I avoid becoming a diabetic? I was so ignorant when it comes to our diet and so forth. So I started calling people that do supplements, that sell supplements, that know about supplements. I started calling and researching, and a friend of mine was sharing her story and sharing about the Plexus products. And of course, they say on the package says on there, helps keep blood sugar, cholesterol, and lipids at healthy levels. And so she shared with me. Now, you don't have to be a diabetic to take Plexus. You don't. It's not meant for. It was created for diabetics, but my husband is taking it. He's not borderline diabetic, and other people that are not in that area. Some people take it, to lose weight and so forth. But that really appealed to me. Is that part right there? And so it took me a bit, because again, I was researching it and I wanted to feel super comfortable with it. So after about a few months of researching, I took the plunge and we ordered our products. And I couldn't wait. My husband couldn't wait to take them for different reasons. My husband wanted to take the products because of his stomach problems. He has severe heartburn, acid reflux. He wanted to lose weight. He struggles, with his weight, and he really wanted to lose some weight, and so he was really excited to take it. He had taken diet pills before. He had been on diets before, but he was done with that. Those diet pills made him really shaky, made his heart go crazy, made him feel like he had 3-4 cups of coffee, and it just wasn't comfortable for him. But he would do it anyways because he wanted to lose weight. So hearing about this, 100% natural, no sugar, he was really excited about it too. So we couldn't wait. Our products got here February 5th, but let me share with you a little bit about what I would deal with before that. Before the products got here, because of my health issues, and long story short, I had become very depressed. I had become so stressed out and about everything that was happening, and I went to go see a counselor. I went to go see a therapist because I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't. It was really hard to deal with, and I couldn't do it by myself. I needed somebody that could explain to me exactly what was happening to me. And so I found out that my adrenals, my adrenal gland was just not functioning, and that's what helps you to cope with your stress and so forth. My hormones were just out of control, and I was a mess in that area. And so I had to admit to myself, man, I have depression, and it really hit me that I had depression. And so the doctor wanted to give me antidepressants. And again, the borderline diabetic, the antidepressants, my hormones and so forth, I was really stressed out about that. So I was crying every day. I mean, from 2014 and 2015, I was crying all the time. All the time I was crying. I would be on my way to work, I was crying. On my way home from work, I'd be crying. During the day, I would have to leave work because I was crying too much. Saturday mornings, my husband would turn and say, good morning, and I would start to cry. It was really, really bad, and I was really sad about it. I didn't want to leave the house. On the weekend, I would stay home all weekend. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to communicate. I was isolating myself. It was really, really, really bad and really sad. I was really embarrassed about how I was, so much anxiety to be around people, and I just was really sad about it, about my health. I was really, really sad about that, and it affected every part of me. So when these products came, I couldn't wait to take them. My husband and I, we could not sleep. I needed help to sleep. The doctor had prescribed, because of everything what I was going through, I would have emotional breakdowns. The doctor prescribed Xanax to me to help me to deal with that. That was very difficult for me. I never talked about it. I didn't tell people about it, but I had been taking Xanax for the past 5 or 6 years, almost daily. The last few years became every day, more than one time a day. I was really bad. And my husband could not sleep. He was tired all the time, with his crazy work schedule. So we were ready. We were really ready. I did not want to take antidepressants. I was willing to. I was ready to. If this wasn't going to work, if I could not find another way, I was ready to, because what else was I going to do? So we started taking these products on a Friday morning. I started taking them. My husband, we were excited. Friday was a bad day. Obviously, it was my first day. I still had my sadness, my feeling of sadness that just kind of hung over me all the time. Saturday morning, I woke up Saturday morning, and I look over to my husband. My husband says good morning, and I look over to my husband, and it's like almost like he was looking at me all the time, like to see how I woke up. And I looked at him and I said, babe, I feel good. Wow. I honestly said, wow, the very next day. Wow. I was just like, oh my goodness, I feel good. So he got up and he said, okay, let's go for a walk. We're going to get up and go for a walk. So I said, okay, let's go. And he was shocked that I said, okay, let's go. So we changed, we get up, my parents, they see us and they say, where are you going? I said, we're going to go for a walk. Okay, they're excited. So I went for a walk. It was awesome. It was an unbelievable experience to get up on a Saturday morning. We come back and my parents see, wow. And I said, I feel great. So my dad said, okay, let's go for breakfast. So we went for breakfast, and you know, my awesome, amazing husband that's always, always, always taking good care of me, he knew that in order for me to get my day started, I'm not a coffee drinker. If you know me, you know that I don't drink coffee. But I reached a point in my emotional self that I needed a cup of coffee in the morning to help me not to cry. I needed something to level me, to help me so that my hormones or something, so that I didn't cry. So he brought me a cup of coffee and I said, why did you bring me a cup of coffee? I didn't ask you, but that's how he is. He said, well, I just thought you needed it. And I said, I don't need it. So it stood there. It stayed there. I didn't drink it. And it was amazing. And he was amazing. We had a great day. We had a great weekend. The following week, we kind of touched bases with each other. How are you feeling? I'm like, I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. So I told my husband, how are you feeling? He said, you know what? Okay, you know, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I feel good. I feel good. I didn't really, you know, because it's hard for him to get a full 8 hours of sleep. He'll sleep on 3 hours or 2 hours, sometimes 4 hours. That's how he sleeps, is his work schedule. He says, you know what? I feel good. Even though I didn't get a full night's sleep, I feel good. A couple nights later, I said, babe, how are you feeling? And he said, you know what, you're not going to believe this, but I wake up and I'm driving and I feel fine. I'm not sleepy. I haven't had to drink anything for energy. This is really weird, he said. This is weird. And I said, I know, it's really weird. I feel awesome. I have energy and it's amazing. So about 13 days into it, you know, because I was still taking the Xanax to sleep. I needed it to sleep. Otherwise, I won't sleep through the night. I won't sleep at all. I'll cry and I'll be worried and stressed. So, by the way, that wasn't me. That's not me. That's what made it so hard to be around people, because that wasn't me. That was going on inside my body. Something beyond my control. The therapist said I had a chemical imbalance. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't have a healthcare background. But the doctor explained to me that I had a chemical imbalance, and I knew that because it was completely beyond my control. No matter how positive I thought, I couldn't get out of it. So I was still taking the Xanax, and about 13 days when we were into it, I felt courageous. I felt great. I thought, you know what? I think I could do it. I think I could do it. I feel good. So that night, I didn't take Xanax. I said, I could do it. I could do it. My positive thinking was like kicking in. So I did make it through the night. I didn't sleep good. I barely made it, but I did make it through the night, and I slept off and on. It was rough, but I made it. So the next night, I felt like withdrawals or something kicking in. My body was getting very shaky, and I felt like, oh my goodness, I know what this is. My body's telling me I need that. So my spirit kind of spoke to me. I love our Holy Spirit. Spoke to me and said, it's time for you to take 2 probiotics. Because at the time I was taking 1 probiotic, and I was taking the 2 BioCleanse during the day. So I said, you know what, it's time for me to go up to 2 probiotics. So that night I took 2 probiotics about an hour before I was going to go to bed. As soon as I started feeling the shakiness, as soon as I started feeling my body do that, I took 2 probiotics. And about an hour later, I started to feel myself calm down. I started to feel, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what it is in there, but if you know and study probiotics, it does that. So I started to feel good. I went to bed and I had a very good night's sleep, and it was amazing. I couldn't wait to tell my husband about it, because I didn't tell my husband that I did this. I didn't, because I didn't want to feel dumb if it didn't work. So I told my husband the next day, and he was so excited for me. And the next day, I was so excited at nighttime. I said, okay, I'm going to take my 2 probiotics. I took my Slim in the morning. I take my little pink packet in the morning. And then I take my 2 BioCleanse during the day, and then I took my 2 probiotics at night. That night I slept amazing also. Every night from that point, I couldn't believe how amazing I felt. Now, granted, part of the reason I felt so good is because I wasn't having the side effects of the Xanax, of course. I was coming off of that and coming onto this. So I feel to the 10th power amazing. And I slept amazing. I sleep so excellent that the sun comes up and I open my eyes and I'm ready to get up and I'm ready to get through the day. And it's not just me, my husband feels the same thing. And I'm happy to say that today, I'm 35 days without taking Xanax. And I'm so excited about that I sleep amazing. My nerves, my adrenals are in shape. I feel very relaxed. I feel my body, my blood, everything is working tremendously well. My husband hasn't had heartburn anymore at all. He doesn't have acid reflux. He eats what he wants to eat. He's not being controlled. We're not being controlled by our sugar, our glucose. We're not being controlled by that. Our glucose is under control. I went to the doctor. I had my labs done on the 12th. I started on the 5th. I had my labs done on the 12th. On the 17th, I went to go get my lab results, and they're great. And they're fine. And the doctor said, keep doing what you're doing. They researched it. She said, it's great. Keep doing what you're doing. And we're going to see you back in 3 months. And we're going to take your blood again because she wants to be sure. And I'm excited to go back to get my blood drawn again. But I'm not borderline diabetic anymore. Just like that. Just like that. Again, I'm not a doctor. I didn't change anything. I didn't change anything. I just followed my cravings. This thing right here, somehow the sugar, by balancing your blood sugar, by balancing your glucose, changes your life. I'm not controlled by, I don't want to eat sweets anymore. I don't crave, I'm not fidgety at 3 o'clock, at 4 o'clock. I'm not looking for something like an ant, like a cockroach, looking for some sugar, chocolate. I don't do that anymore. And neither does my husband. So my husband has lost almost 20 pounds easily. And when I say easily, it's because he knows what it's like to diet, to have to fight, to not eat, to struggle between meals, to be shaky, to get the hangriness. He doesn't have any of that anymore. Why? Because his glucose is being controlled. His insulin, our insulin, we're balanced, and it feels amazing. We don't have to live like that. I'm 45, my husband is 47. Later this year I'll be 46, my husband will be 48. We get to that age and we begin to think like this is normal. Like, is this normal? We begin to feel like we just accept it. It doesn't have to be that way. We are excited about what we're feeling right now. We sleep amazing. My husband doesn't have those things anymore. He told me the other day, you know what, I just tested it out. I had my Chinese food and I just said, I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if I'm cured. So he put the Chinese chili in there, the hottest chili, and he ate it. He said, nothing. No acid reflux, no heartburn. I'm so happy for him. And the awesome thing about this is, again, 35 days with no Xanax, and I haven't cried since February 5th. Now, I did PMS a little bit because, you know, us women, we still have our hormones, and I got a little emotional one night, but that was because of my, PMSing a little bit. I'm just being real with you guys. But outside of that one day, I haven't cried since February 5th. I haven't cried, and we are on day 52 today. To me, that is phenomenal. It is amazing. And so we're so excited, and you can see that I have absolutely no equivocation of sharing this because it has changed my life. It has changed my husband's life. We are on this now. We just ordered and received and started taking the X Factor, the Omega X. My husband is taking the accelerator, which is to kickstart your diet, to kickstart your weight loss venture. He started that. He feels amazing with it. And we are so excited to continue to do it. And so if you have any reservations, I would share with you, don't. It cannot harm you. It's natural. It cannot harm you. If you have any issues like that, I would recommend that you take it. It has changed our life.